Hey, welcome back. In tonight's Future of Everything, you know how we've been saying AI is coming to Hollywood and probably coming to a theater near you? Well, it is happening. It is happening fast, and sure enough, it looks like the silver screen might be the big canvas for a YouTube filmmaker, Gossip Goblin. You know him. He came by the show. We talked to him earlier this year. He's been called the George Lucas of AI, and he is back in a big way, this time with a feature film called Gods Don't Give Gifts.
How many heroes can you thrash about in your jaws before they all taste the same?
Damn it!
You could just imagine how much something like that would cost a big studio to go from a creative brain to AI to then the big screen. But that's the thing, like, you look at some of these images and you see some of these scenes that just stick with you for a day after you've seen them, and you feel a certain kind of way. And I don't know why. Is it because it's written by a human? Is it because AI has gotten so good? That is a question we've been asking ever since we saw Gossip Goblin's first project. And here with some answers, hopefully, on where this is all headed is Gossip Goblin himself, Zack London. Good to see you, Zack. And joining us on set is CEO of the company backing it, Fable, Edward Saatchi, working on the film's distribution. Zack, first off, people hear AI, and a lot of them are going to assume, oh yeah, you just clicked a few buttons, you hit generate, and then boom, there's a movie. Take us through all the things that went into making this feature film.
Sure. Well, and also good to see you again. Another nice 2 a.m. reunion between the two of us. But yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, there's clearly a kind of a misconception that I have a giant box in my living room and I just go and ask it for a movie and it dispenses a fully cooked film. When in reality, you know, the trailer that you're showing here on screen for the film that we released today, Pomegranate, you know, that was a 3.5, 4 month undertaking with a full team of creatives. So that includes, you know, animators, visual designers. I wrote and directed it. We had voice actors for all the characters, a Foley artist for the sound effects. We went through 3 different musicians to score the film, and then a whole post-production team to edit it together, color grade it, sound mix it, and kind of, you know, yield the finished result that, you know, we see a glimpse of here. So I'd say, you know, it's obviously, it's not the same as, you know, traditional filmmaking or CGI, but I would not by any means say that it's automatic or easy.
No.
And I hope that the results speak for themselves, that it's, you know, there's not a lot of people that can kind of pull this off. And there is definitely quite a bit of craft involved, even if it's a different medium, so it's a different kind of craft.
I would encourage anybody to go check out what's out there on Pomegranate. I mean, again, the image of that creature, you know, I imagine is some sort of white whale, but the creature that comes out of the sea, incredible. It is incredible, and I know it's AI generated. Edward, there's something about Gossip Goblin, about Zack's work, that seems to transcend beyond the AI, and yet This is still AI. You're the guy that has to go to movie theaters and be like, hey, I have an idea. AI film on your screen. Like, are you down for maybe a big showing or possibly people picketing in front of the theater?
I think a year ago it would have been difficult, but looking at Zack's work, the people that we're talking to, the theater owners that we're talking to, they just can't argue that it's moving. That audiences go on a journey when they see it, and they cry or they laugh. They're actually having the cinematic journey that people want. And even more so since January, when a YouTuber, Markiplier, put out Iron Lung, now Obsession and Backrooms, I think people are more open to the idea of internet IP. And Zack has, you know, been an incredible YouTube filmmaker as much as an AI filmmaker. So we're just excited for audiences to see it and judge it on the most important term possible. Is it a great work of art? And we think it is.
Yeah, and Zack, speaking of YouTube, I mean, I think the last time we talked at 2 in the morning, you didn't have that thing behind you on the wall on your incredibly decorated background, if you will. You always bring us such incredible visuals in your films, but it looks like you got some YouTube hardware hanging back there. We've had...
I do. What a good... Yeah, is that conspicuous just because my room is so sparse otherwise.
Yeah.
It's an interim office transitioning into a baby's nursery.
There you go. There you go.
So
yeah.
maybe we'll keep the YouTube placard just in case.
Just to remind them, hey,
her.
this is what Dad was up to when you were coming into the world. But YouTube's having like a pretty crazy year at the box office, at least, right? And is it because these YouTubers are bringing an audience in that is already built in, or is it because we're seeing storytelling in a different way?
I think it's both, right? I mean, there's built-in audiences, obviously, and fan bases, and it's not just the subscribers, but people who are like peripherally aware of it. And obviously, there's a lot of great examples from this year. But then I also think, just in general, like, there are so many phenomenal storytellers in the world, and not all of them have the ability to kind of run the traditional gauntlet to have their work show up on a big screen, or might not even be so inclined to do that. And obviously YouTube is a lower barrier to entry. And in a way, it's kind of more democratizing. It's like, okay, do people, feel so inclined to spend 30 minutes of their day watching what you put out there? And so I think, coupled with like pre-existing audiences and having a broader pool of fresh ideas to pull from, it totally makes sense that, Hollywood's now directing its gaze at YouTube, where there's just like an abundance of really phenomenal storytellers.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm going to miss when I see your film in the theaters is the comment section. I got to say, like, your comment section reads very much like a community through all of your films. So that is something that, that theaters have to figure out how to do. And I guess that's just like turning to the person next to you and being like, wow, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think having Zack's going to face, the pressure of being the first, the first AI film actually in cinemas. And so that's why it's so important that he's someone who's a great writer, who's someone who can actually get great performances out of these AI actors and voice actors, human voice actors that he works with. And we're really excited about, the movie with a Metacritic score with Rotten Tomatoes. The first trailer, imagine a month from now when the first trailer comes out before a movie, people turning to each other and saying, whoa, what was that? That's so cool. What is that?
Wait, hold on. Let me just let that sink in. So there's going to be previews in the full-on theater. People are going to be eating their popcorn, and then they're going to say, coming soon, and then we're going to see that preview.
Yeah, and it's not going to say AI. It's just going to say, do you want to see this? Doesn't this look crazy? Doesn't this look moving and interesting? So we're going to do it all and actually treat it like a work of art, which is what it is.
Oh, wow. And Zack, real fast, before I let you go, how do you describe this movie?
So without giving too much away or talking it too much, so it's a sci-fi anthology kind of set in this world that we've been establishing for over a year and a half now. And the whole premise is, this is a kind of sci-fi kind of alternate universe where consciousness can just be easily swapped between bodies. Memories can be bought and sold. You can experience whole lifetimes in a flash. Basically, we've kind of solved mortality. And so these stories kind of follow different characters in this world, both like the victims of this technology and the beneficiaries of it. But the real premise of it is like, at its core, we're still human. Technology obviously has changed the way we look, the way we behave, but our hungers, our desires, they're still human. In reality, it's the limits to those desires that have been basically removed, Any limit to the body or to memory or identity has been lifted, and then kind of taking that to the extreme.
Yeah, it sure seems like we're seeing some version of that play out in real life. Zack, Edward, really appreciate you guys being here. Can't wait to see this film. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.